is for someone who, in one of my comments when I was showing you guys how to use instruments with Loopback and record into Koala, which is this right here. They were like, well, how do you configure it? And I was trying to figure out that question, how I would answer it, because it's not really much to configure. It's, first of all, you need Loopback, obviously. And generally, all your devices start with pass through, which is automatically set up into channel 1 and 2. The monitor is just what you're listening to on the other end. So in other words, you monitor it with some device. Usually it's going to be whatever your interface is. If you don't have an interface and you just plug straight into the computer, then it would be either your MacBook Pro speakers, or if you have a external, let's say you have a MacBook Pro like a M1 or whatever, then usually you would have a headphone jack. So you would use the headphone jack. So that's just how you listen. In Koala, if you're on the desktop version and you go to settings, I showed this in the video, you'll have an input and output. So you just set the input as, in this case, I have it as various sources. But technically, if I'm recording in, it's going to be a different one, right? It's going to be this one called instruments. Now it needs to be on for it to recognize it. So I just turned it on and it should recognize it, but it doesn't. So you might have to move out of it and come back in and then see if it populates. And in this case, it hadn't populated yet, but it will eventually do that. Let me go in here. Actually, let me turn on an instrument since I don't have anything on. That may be why. All right. Now let's see. Nope, still haven't populated, but it will eventually populate and you'll see it. I'm going to switch it to a different source and then see if that fixes it. Nope, still haven't fixed it yet. But anyway, that's what you would do, is you'd put the instruments section here, and then your various sources for your output would be down here. Okay. So you're basically passing the audio through here on the output, and on the input, you're putting in your instrument. And that's pretty much all there is to this. There's not much else to do. I wish there was more that I could show you, but it's literally just setting up the input and the output. Now on iOS, you don't have an option to set up the input. It's just the output. So unless you have an audio interface, the audio interface, I think at that point would automatically be an input for you, but it doesn't show you that option. Maybe I could show you that real quick. Let me show you what I'm talking about when I say that. So let's find, I think I have both of them on here. And I believe this one is, no, it's this one. All right. So here's Koala from the desktop. From the iOS. So if you go in here and look at there's no option to set up an input really or an output. It's already just configured for you. So you don't have a way to change it, in other words. So I'm going to close out Koala. And I'm going to reopen Koala. And now it should see the input. Sometimes it needs to be restarted to do that. There it is. See, yeah, it just took me restarting it to do it. But there it is. So now you would have instruments and you would play your input, and then your output would be various sources. And that's pretty much all there is to set it up to do the instruments using Loopback 2. I highly suggest get Loopback 2. Again, they don't pay me to do this. In fact, the only thing they've given me for free, I bought my own Loopback at full price, was Audio Hijack. And that's just because I was doing a demo, and they, even though I was going to pay for it, they offered it to me for free. So of course I would take it if I can get something for free. Why not? It's rare that I get that though. Most of the time the stuff you see, I pay for it. So, but anyway, there you go. So that's how it works, and I'm out.